The numbers don't lie is a phrase that Richard told me 1 minute ago. Because I mean, not all the founders are liars, but when you're a founder like me or like Richard, that he was also a founder, you are very optimistic with your business idea and you don't pay much attention to the numbers. So how can you help these founders, Richard, as a mentor or as an advisor?
I was an accountant, so my core understanding of everything related to business comes from my knowledge of accounting, which is accounting is the language of business. So you want to be able to take the accounting and transform it into a story, and you want that story to match the story that the founder is telling, whether it's for investors, whether it's for bankers, whether it's for transactions like financing for equipment, for buildings, for anything that's needed to actually grow the business. So you want accounting to actually be there to support what you're saying. So we can bring a lot of the tools to make sure that you're telling the story that can be supported by the fact that the numbers will actually turn out the way you say they will.
Okay, I like that phrase, like to build the storytelling from the numbers point of view. And what is the use case for this? I mean, of your help. I mean, I need to tell a good story from the numbers for fundraising, or for what? Why should I need this?
Fundraising is definitely, I would say, priority number one. We're talking about, what would the founders need from me? I think one of the biggest thing a business founder would need from me is to be able to say, yes, the numbers that we've put together so far and the numbers we expect to continue to happen over the course of the near future, we want to be able to say, we've vetted these. We've actually gone through and made sure that these are good numbers, that if we say we're going to hit $2 million in revenue, that there actually is the ability to believe that we can get to 2 million in revenue, because maybe you're already at 1 million or 1.5 million. So you're basically saying, okay, at that point, I've got the ability to double my size.
I'm talking about that, doubling your size. This is a question I didn't ask you before, but can you tell me, do you have any success story of a business that you help double their size or something like that?
I'll tell you a quick story that a lot of people have heard. Anybody who knows me probably have heard this story. I got into being an outsourced CFO as opposed to being a regular accountant because of one client that called me, got to be 15 years ago. Actually, it's closer to 20 now. I'm getting older. So he called me up and he wanted to know, he said, I can't figure out why I'm not growing anymore. And he had hit a $3 million, I'll call it a hurdle. His revenue had gotten to $3 million. He couldn't figure out, why am I not growing the way I should? And I said, I'll help you. Let me take a look at what's going on in your business and the financials. And when I looked at the financials, I said, these are really good. They're good reports on a whole basis. But I said, you're in a satellite telecom business with 10 different satellite routes around the world. I said, and the problem that I see is that we don't know the profitability on each one of those satellite routes. So I spent a week with him in his office. We broke it down into the 10 pieces, and we actually could see that 2 of those pieces had no customers on them. And I said, well, why are you paying for routes with no customers on them? And he said, that's for future growth. And I said, your future growth is killing your current growth because you're paying for something with no matching revenue on it. So let's get rid of those. We took those 2 routes out. It all of a sudden sprouted more cash for him. So he reinvested in the business. And that $3 million in revenue went to $15 million of revenue in a year. And so once we got to that 15 million, he was able to get some either venture capital or private equity investment into the business at that point. And eventually he became a division of Panasonic because he wound up getting the business to grow enough that he attracted a multinational to buy him out. But it all came down to, we had to get over that one hurdle. We had to understand, why did the company stop growing the way it was, and how did we get past it so that we could get him on a trajectory that got him to private equity and then to an ultimate sale.
That's a good story. And for example, I was trying to think about where are these type of startups that would like to get your advice? Are they only in the US, or they can be anywhere?
They can be anywhere.
Where do you have clients, for example, or clients that you had in the past?
I have had clients from Europe, specifically the UK, Germany, France. I've had clients in Africa, but I think it was mostly South Africa. And I have worked with some companies in Australia.
And you work in most of the cases with the founders or the CEO or the decision maker. Is that right?
Yes. The board level, C-suite level, are usually the people that I'm dealing with. Depending on if they need a specific project or something to be fixed, I may be working with a controller or next level down. But usually that would mean that I would bring somebody in to work on that underneath us, and then have them report up to the C-suite of the company, or the founder or myself.